Hi, my name is Walton Abraham Sanchez. I am the CPA of the firm Fast CPA Consultants, and today we're going to talk about how to open a bank in the USA. There are basically two types or two forms of opening a bank in the USA. The first one is to apply for a new charter, meaning for a new banking license. Within that, the new banking license, there are two applications, one for the federal charter and one for the state charter. At the federal state level, the application paperwork is basically very similar. Now, whenever you are trying to come to the you're trying to come to the USA and establish your bank, one thing is to have a bank in your country, and then apply for a charter in the USA, than starting for a new license. That's completely different. It's two kind of paperwork, and it's more difficult the second option. That will be apply for a new license when you don't have a bank in your country. If you have a bank in your country and you want to come to the USA, for example, we have the case of a client that he wanted to come from a foreign country and he wanted to open a bank here in the US, but they have a bank in their country. And the good thing about that is that pertaining to the legislation in your country of origin, the soundness of the legislation, of the supervision of the banking regulations in your country is going to be considered very close by the state here in the USA. So if your country, your headquarters has a very strong regulation, a very strong banking legislation, that is going to help the moment that you apply for either a representation office in the US or for a full branch bank in the USA. Now, whenever you apply, and for the federal and state level, it basically starts with the description. It's like a business plan, meaning that what you are going to do and what you're going to offer and how you're going to improve the market in the USA and what kind of products you're going to offer. If you want to open, for example, a representation office, that's very basic, meaning that no business at all, no deposits, you are not taking money from the US residents in any state. It's just a representation office. It's a very simple, meaning that it's kind of marketing from the bank, for the bank that you have in your country. If you want to go like in the next level, meaning that not anymore a representation office, but an actual branch, then all the legislation from your country and all the supervision in terms of the banking supervision that you have in your country is going to be considered, and then you have to provide for a full business plan in terms of products that you're going to offer and how you're going to service on the state, and how your service is going to improve the community. That is a key point when you're applying for a new charter in the USA and you have a bank in your country. Now, for an existing bank, if you want to come to the US and you don't want to go through the new charter, but you want then to apply to buy an existing bank, things are very a little difficult. Basically, because the USA, the different banking authorities in each of the states, they prefer that banks, an existing bank in the US, purchase those banks that are for sale, in a kind of consolidations. In last year, the banking authorities in the USA, in some states, for example in New York and in Texas, they started to issue new licenses. It was very rare that certain state issues new new licenses, because basically what they want to do is to consolidate the banking system. But with the advent of fintechs in the US market, there are these fintechs that are coming here to the US, and they are working with existing banks to create a synergy and provide services, online services, to US residents. So that is a new combination. It's a combination of an existing banking model with the fintechs that are coming to the US, or within the US. They are trying to conquer these new markets that are completely online. That's a synergy that is coming, And that will be within this, meaning an existing bank is providing all the operations and all the framework for operations, and then just this fintech comes to work with that framework. They do not apply for a new license. They work with the bank, and they offer as a form of marketing, as a form of technology, these online accounts for those clients that don't want to go anymore to the bank. There is, for example, Marcus from JP Morgan is a good example. There are a couple of more banks that are working with 2 or 3 more the same way. But basically, whenever you are applying for buying an existing bank, it's similar to the new charter. The U.S. the state is going to, when you apply for buying the bank, the state is going to supervise. The state is going to check what is the legislation, what is the soundness of the legislation in your country, and what is the banking system in terms of supervision for that. That will be the first consideration whenever you are trying to buy an existing bank in the USA. Then also you need to provide in your application, you need to provide why you want to buy the bank, and how your current business model or strategy is going to be complemented by this, the purchase of this bank in the USA. Once the application is given, then it's going to be an evaluation of quite a few elements there. First one is management, meaning the kind of executive board and management, the CEO, CFO, COO that you have in your current bank right now, and the ones that you're going to bring in the USA, because then you're going to need a complete management team for the USA. Also the financials, meaning what is the soundness of your bank, and if you will be able to complement your business model with this acquisition. As it will be logical, anti-money laundering, meaning what is the soundness of the anti-money laundering in your country, and the supervision, meaning what kind of supervision your current bank in your head country actually offers. What kind of supervision, what is the soundness of the supervision from the banking authorities in your country. If you have a question, don't forget to leave your comments here in our YouTube channel, or go to our website www.fastcpaconsultants.com.